All right, guys, welcome to the timeout segment of Game Time Astrology podcast. It's your girl, Q, the astrologer, and I'm here with a really cool, amazing special guest. Malira Green is with me today, guys, and she's my first timeout segment client, if you will, and I'm really appreciative of you just trusting in me to do this with you, to read your chart. How you doing today?
I am doing well. I will not complain. It's hot where I am. So I'm glad to be in the AC talking to you.
I know that's right. Yeah. It's gotten hot out here too, like really late, which is really, really weird. It's really weird. But I'm not complaining because I've been wanting to summon in the hot weather for a while. But anywho, so guys, the timeout segment of the podcast is basically where I will be reading the chart of a contestant that comes on here for 5 minutes. It'll be a 5-minute reading, a little mini reading. So we're just taking a timeout from the regular scheduled broadcast, and we're going to read some charts, whether it be a natal chart or an astrocartography chart. And for Miss Malira Green, I'm going to read her astrocartography chart. Okay, so for those of you who do not know what that is, astrocartography is how the placements of the planets affect the energy where you live and where you visit, depending on when and where you were born. So we use everything we always use with astrology: birth time, birthplace, birth location. We plug it in and we see where you can align when it comes to your relocation goals. So that's another thing that is very important about astrocartography, is that you need to understand what your relocation goals are. You need to know what your relocation goals are before you get a reading such as this. Okay. So now we're going to bring it over to Miss Malira, and we're going to ask her, what are her relocation goals? Like, what is, I guess I would say, what is one relocation goal that you would like me to look at in the astrocartography for you?
For me, it will be my career. I know that my soul's purpose is huge. I'm just waiting for my flesh to catch up. I know that I'm supposed to be in front of millions, transforming lives with my words, but I have no idea where to start. So that will be my thing. Where do I start to begin to pour into the millions that I know I'm supposed to transform?
Okay. And what is your career in, if you don't mind me asking?
So I'm actually a psychotherapist. So I'm an LCSW. I work with individuals who have experienced trauma.
Love that. All right. Okay. All right. Excellent stuff. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk you through the steps. That's how I do. I'm very detailed, just so you can know what I'm actually doing. So, because you mentioned you want to look into your career, what I'm going to do is try and go and assess what is your Saturn placement looking like, because Saturn rules our career. And then also, too, you say you are psychotherapist, right? Psychotherapist. And
Yes.
so for me, that made me think about Chiron, helping people heal. It also made me think of the eighth house. It also made me think of Pluto, right? Helping people to transform. So I'm going to be looking at those three placements in your natal chart first, and then I'm going to go into the astrocartography, and then that's when the reading starts. Okay. So you got Saturn here in Aquarius. Love that. And then you have your Pluto here in Scorpio. Like myself, shout out to the Pluto Scorpio generation people. And then in your eighth house, I see you have Venus, you have your sun, which makes sense. You have your sun that, you know, your career gives you confidence. You are confident in what you do when it comes to the eighth house of psychology, research, things that are hidden beneath the surface, helping people, you know, you shine a light on that. So what I'm going to do now is go look at Saturn in the natal chart. So I see Saturn square Pluto. And then in the eighth house, I'm going to look at the planets in the eighth house. I see the sun. Got a little bit of squares there. Then I'm going to look at Venus. And Venus looks really, really good. Now we're going to go, guys, to the astrocartography chart. And the second question I'm going to ask you to like make it better, is there a specific location of interest that you would like me to look at? Just one.
I'll say Texas.
Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'll do for this portion is say if Texas is yay or nay, and then I'll go and look at Venus. Okay. I would say yes. I would say yay to Dallas specifically. I would say yes to Dallas. That's what I would say there. Yay or nay? Yes to Dallas. That was the first one that you had mentioned. So yes. All right. So now let's go to career focus. Now we're going to go there, and I'm just going to take a little beat to analyze your chart and see where we can kind of place you for this. I would say the Washington, D.C. area, DMV.
Okay.
DMV.
What's crazy is I'm already in the V part of the DMV. So.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
You're in Virginia.
I'm in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say most specifically like Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Because in Virginia, you're further away from the Venus line. And so the closer you are living to your power line, then of course, the more powerful the influence of the energy will be for you, which of course with Venus being in your 8th house, shared resources, also good for your career, conjunct your part of fortune, bringing you what? Simply fortune, right? And so basically living closer to that line would activate the Venus energy more prominently, as opposed to you living kind of far away from it where you are right now in Virginia. You're like 100 kilometers away, from that line. But if you would go to Washington, D.C. and live there, it's actually, you close that 100 kilometers gap. You kind of like, subtract that 100 kilometers and you're a little bit closer. And then what you'll see there is more of opportunity for making money, better clientele, better resources, stuff like that. So I feel like, that would be pretty cool for you. I think also too, with your Venus retrograde in your chart, it's essential for you to live closer to your Venus line as opposed to like further away from it. Because with the retrograde planet is just like a recalibration of how you deal with your resources and love and all these things. So you'll still be doing that in DC, but because you're closer to the planetary influence, it's going to make things come to you a lot quicker. Like I said, closer, you'll be closer to the opportunity, closer to the clients, closer to hitting your goals in your career. It's just like a small adjustment, kind of like up the road, up north. And the influence there is really, really beautiful. It's really powerful. That's your reading. You do have about a minute if you have a question. We have a minute if you have a question.
Not really a question. It's one of those things where I'm always looking for clarity. I have little people to take care of, so I know me just up and uprooting. But I'm okay with being patient, but at least now I know where the starting point can be to get me where I'm trying to go. So I just appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I appreciate you for entrusting in me to read for you today. And I hope that gave you some clarity. And thank you so much for being the first ever contestant in the timeout portion of Game Time Astrology podcast. I do appreciate you. And I wish you the very best of luck on your journey. And hopefully, if you do move to DC, come on back and let me know how that was for you. And, I hope it all works out.
I sure will. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you guys so very much for checking out this new segment, Timeout, the Timeout segment of Game Time Astrology podcast. I'm your host, Q. Ray, and let's go ahead and get back to the broadcast, guys. Peace.